Now the mic is on. So somebody, so this session on Twitter and Facebook, somebody, Emily Bella was on it, said journalism in America is like a marshmallow in front of a dragon. And then the moderator said somebody should get on like Dolly or Stable Diffusion or something and make that image, and so I did. So you can see my terrible, but it actually turned out okay. It didn't take that long. I actually didn't even use Stable Diffusion or Dolly. See the B over here? I used Microsoft Create. So, and actually Microsoft Create's not bad for images. So you guys, there's some, come on in. You can come over here if you want to. Are there people waiting outside? Or are we good? You could come over and sit in these chairs if you want. I won't bite. You could sit over here. I'm not going to use these chairs. So, like, if anybody wants to come in. And I don't care where you sit. Just try not to sit. All right, put that there. Okay, we're going to get started. Let's go. This is just a warm-up. So I'm Jim Louderback. This is... so who I am on LinkedIn, and the reason why I'm doing this is I have a newsletter that goes to about 20,000 people. I do video, I do my newsletter, I do stories. I went through the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator in October, and I'm a top voice. I'm kind of an accidental creator on LinkedIn. I found LinkedIn when I was editor-in-chief at PC Magazine, and they first started coming out, so I'm user number 8,300. But I only used it like everybody else for my resume until I started doing a newsletter for my job at VidCon. We were trying to get people to buy tickets at VidCon, and I said, well, I can, I was a journalist in the past. I can do a newsletter with content, and we'll send it to people, and maybe they'll buy tickets. LinkedIn started their newsletter product, and I was like, well, I'm just going to put it on my LinkedIn too. Why not? And here's where I am today. So background as well. So I was editor-in-chief of PC Magazine, like I said. I was editorial director at Tech TV, which was a cable network about technology. Ended up building a couple of startups and selling them. Built VidCon, sold it to Paramount, left about 9 months ago, and I'm leaning into doing more in the creator economy. So if you want a copy of these slides, that QR code will take you to subscribe to my newsletter, and in the newsletter that comes out every Monday, we'll talk about why that's important, I'll put a link in there to the slides. So this is my sneaky way to get you to subscribe. So what is LinkedIn not? Okay, well, it's not a Twitter replacement. I'm sorry for everybody who's looking for a Twitter replacement. It's not that. It is not a place where if you go up there, you're going to make a lot of money. There's not a lot of rev share like on YouTube or other platforms. And it's also not just a place to put your resume. It is a content destination. It is a place where you should think of as a top-of-funnel engine. It's a place to get awareness for who you are and what you do, and then you can figure out how to convert that into money off-platform. So it's a place to build a business for sure. You can go out and build your own consulting business, build your own business around what you do as a creator, but you're not really going to get a lot of money on LinkedIn. I do a newsletter, like I said, 20,000 people. I am not very good at sales. I've had a couple sponsors and made some money, but it's really for me about that, building that awareness about who I am and what I do. And even if you don't want to start a business, you want to just work at better and better jobs in journalism, LinkedIn is a great place for you to curate your personal brand so that you can get to that next level, that next job, and get to the next place that you want to go with your career. And yes, it is also a place full of humble brags and tech bros and all that crap. But by the way, what other digital technical product social network is not that? Just ignore them. Don't be them. So TLDR, if you want to just look at the 7 things you should know on this session, post once per day. No more than once per day, 3 times a week. It's really nice to have a social network where you don't actually have to post 10 times a day. Post in your own voice. Don't ChatGPT write for you. Don't hire somebody to write for you. There are lots of people on LinkedIn that'll do that. Don't do that. Be yourself. After you post, make sure you stick around on LinkedIn for the next, 20 minutes or so. Read other posts, but comment, like, and check other posts out because you're telling the algorithm that you're doing more than just posting stuff. You're part of the community because LinkedIn is very important. Focus on your audience, not yourself. I'll talk about that in a minute, why that's important, but it's about people in the community you want to build, not you. Follow the audience you want and build your community of people that you want to be connected with. I'll show you how to get there. Turn on creator mode. We'll talk about next. Turn on creator mode and use all the different features that LinkedIn has. They're always coming out with new ones. Find the ones that work best for you and lean into that. So let's start with the profile page. This is the page where people find out who you are. It's the most important page for everyone to curate and make wonderful. How do you get to the profile page? This is what happens when I go to LinkedIn.com on my browser. You know, just fire up LinkedIn, and the way you get to it is you click on that lovely picture of yourself. Hopefully you have a lovely picture of yourself, and that gets you to your profile page. So it looks like this. There's a lot of stuff on it. I'll talk about each of them. But before I do that, there's a special section that only you can see on your page. It's not there, but only you can see on your page, and it's the resources section. So this thing right here, the resources section, this is where you go. It's private to you to turn creator mode on. You're all here. You should all turn this on. That's the first thing you should do when you leave. Why do you want to turn it on? By the way, when you go to resources, this is what you see on the right. Because then it changes people's ability to connect with you. They can't just connect and become a connection. They can follow you. Now that's really important. Before this happened, I was really promiscuous on LinkedIn. Anybody who gave me a connection request I connected with. I've got like 25,000 people I connected with. Then they started the whole follow thing, and now people can follow and not connect. But also, let's say you become, you're doing stuff, and somebody out there says, oh my gosh, I want to connect with you, and they hit the connect button. You're like, I've never heard of you. I don't want to be connected to you. What happens now is that they follow you automatically. So even if you turn their connection request down, they remain a follower, which is how you build up hundreds of thousands or 2 followers. You get the list of the number of followers that you have that combines your connections and followers together. If you don't want people to see that, don't turn connect mode on, creator mode on, but turn creator mode on and just build it up. You're allowed to come up with topics that describe you, and you can put those hashtags in. So you can put in the topics you discuss. Think about SEO, think about the LinkedIn hashtag topics that you want to put there. Maybe it's journalism, maybe it's war, maybe it's, I don't know, whatever. Maybe it's DIY, maybe it's whatever it is. Put that in there, because then that helps LinkedIn figure out who you are and who to recommend you to. And also when people show up there, they can look at it and figure out who you are and what you do. It moves your featured and activity sections to the top of the profile. So it allows you to take things that you want to feature when someone comes to your profile page. The 3 things or the 1 thing or the 2 things, the 3 things that are most important, you can stick there. And you can also create a list and allow people to scroll through the latest things that you've looked at and posted. I'll talk about that in a minute. And it allows you to add a link to your profile for things like link in bio or websites or other things. So this is what that profile looks like. Let me talk about each of those real quickly. Background photo, come up with something that's nice, that talks about you. That's the first thing people see. Like, this is actually just a picture that I took of a hiking trail outside of my house just south of San Francisco. I probably should put something better in, but I like that picture. Profile picture, find a good picture of yourself. Try not to change it too often. You can also put a short little 30-second video in there, which is fun. I have a video where I talk about myself. That's a good idea as well. Your headline is so important that I'm going to talk about it in a minute. It's not just where you put in your experience, but actually you can have some fun with it. You can see the you can see the go back. You can see the hashtags right there. You can see the number of followers. Services is the things you want to do. Like if you're in business for yourself, I do live events, strategic planning, content strategy, etc. This featured section is really important. You can put whatever you want here. You can put connections to other places. I put my newsletter here, my latest video here, and my latest newsletter edition here. This is the activity section. When you're in creator mode, it defaults if you're not in creator mode to, I think, posts. I can't remember what. But now you, as a creator, can select which of these posts, comments, videos, images, articles, newsletter you want to have show up when somebody gets here. I set it up to post so people can see my latest post because I have my latest video on this here. But let's say all I do are videos. I could have all my videos here. Or all I do are articles. I could have those there as well. So really, really helpful when somebody wants to come in there and talk to you. So your LinkedIn headline, really quickly. It's your elevator pitch. It's your story. The wrong one can turn people away. The right one can bring people in. These are just a couple of examples to look at. You don't just want to put your job and your title and your last job and your title. That's for your experience section down below. Here you want to really just grab people and get them excited about connecting with you. So Sarah Koski I put up here. She started up narrative strategist. I like that. You don't even know where she works, but then she says she's a 2022 Estee Lauder Top 100 Global Woman. So I'm assuming she probably works at Estee Lauder, or I don't know. But she's a leader, she's a vital voice, a visionary, a fellow. Here's what she talks about, which is really important. Chantal, I don't know any of these people, obviously, we're all second. But she's a recruiter for Gap, and this is still a place where people get hired, right? LinkedIn. So that's a good thing to put in. But then she's like a purple squirrel finder. I don't even know what a purple squirrel is, but I'm intrigued enough to find out, and that's what you want people to do. And then Lindsay Gamble, who I do know, Associate Director of Influence at Maverick, LinkedIn Top Voice, Rising Star, hello. It's a little humble braggy for me, but this is what he did with his link. Rather than doing a link to a website like I did, he said, sign up for my newsletter. So guess what I'm doing when we're done? I am doing that. More headline tips. Keywords, hook your target, do some SEO of the keywords you want, put that in there, be concise, some numbers and data are always good. A call to action, you'll see in mine, I'm like, subscribe to my newsletter. Don't repeat your resume, and by the way, on LinkedIn in general, don't make things up. People will find out. So how do you build your following and your community and your audience to be what you want, who you want to know you and connect with and join? Because the people who follow you and connect to you are the ones who are going to get most of the stuff that you post on the channel. So these are the people you want to influence. But you're not connected to the people that you want yet. Here's how you do it. Find the people you want to have in your community. Do this by looking for top voices in your topic area. So if you pick journalism, find the top voices that LinkedIn has granted that top voice to, or other people who post a lot, who have a lot of followers and connections, and so say, yeah, I want them in my community. I want to be in their community. I want us not just to follow. I don't want to just follow them. I want to connect to them, because that's the gold. Look for hiring managers at companies you might want to work with. If you want to work at the New York Times, if you want to work at the Washington Post or somewhere else, find out who the hiring managers are, who the senior editors are, whoever, whatever, and then other experts in the industry. Now, how do you find these people? LinkedIn search is actually not that bad. Get into it, look at it, go down that rabbit hole, find those people. And also, if you find somebody, you're like, oh my God, that's the person I want. And then you look at their posts, and they've only posted 3 times in the last year, and it's mostly like, I'm so happy that this person got a job. Or if it's that, you don't even waste time, because they're not on the platform enough. It's not going to do you any good. So here's what you do. Find that person. And I picked somebody out who's a reporter in San Francisco I don't even know. And I don't necessarily, not somebody that I'd probably want to have in my community, but I wouldn't mind if she was. But so let's say LaMonica there. But the first thing you do is you follow them. So before the follow is over there on that side, and then after the follow is here. So quick question for you guys. There are 2 things different between the image on the right and the image on the left. Anybody know what they are? All right, we don't have enough time to look at it. It's 2 things. It's 2 things. One, it's button change from follow to following. Yeah. But that thing up there on the upper right, you see that little bell up there? Suddenly you have a little bell. What the little bell lets you do is ring it, and then you see all their posts. So follow them, ring their bell. First couple of weeks, comment on a few of their posts. Then after a while, when you've commented and they've connected, maybe they've responded back, then send out that connection request. But also see who else is commenting on there regularly, and respond to their comments. Be part of the community, comment with them, comment to people commenting, and then you can reach out to them and connect, and you'll connect up. Okay, so creating content. This mostly comes directly from LinkedIn, and this is the kind of content you want to make. First of all, it's not about you. Remember, people don't want to hear about you, they want to hear about them. Eliminate the word I from your first paragraph. Say, this is, you should do this, or something interesting. What type of content works? First, help people do their jobs better, develop satisfying careers. And by the way, everything you do, relatable, applicable, clear, and concise. So what sort of things do I mean? Well, here are 4 different types of stories that you can do here. Milestones, relationships, opportunities, the key to your career trajectory. Let's say you've been a journalist for 10 years. How did you get there? What was it like? Think about the things that you wanted to know when you were 5 years into your career, and then write about that. Help people understand how they can move forward in their career, because that's what this platform is about. Give value, give back, talk about your career journey, talk about your trajectory. Let's say you're working in a newsroom now that's great, but your first job was in a newsroom that was toxic. Write a little bit about what that was like and why it's so important, and help people create a happier or more productive workplace. And then think about things you use to make yourself more productive. What do? Do you have a list of people you follow on Twitter? Do you have other places you go? Are there places on Discord to hang out? Write about that and help people there too. You're helping people in what you do, and you're building your brand as an expert in that space. Help people understand the industry or a trend. So again, 4 things here. What trend or regulation or customers need to understand to make good business decisions? Think about your viewers, think about your readers, think about other people like you. What are trends in your environment? I mean, the AI, ChatGPT, the Dolly stuff, big trend out there. And this is actually a person who actually wrote something really cool about AI, which, I mean, he's a developer and I wouldn't even follow him, but I love this piece. So what are you keeping your eye on? What's an innovation coming up? Are you thinking about journalism in the multiverse? I don't know. Maybe you are. Write about it, or do a video about it, or do a photo about it. What do people keep asking you for your advice on? This is a really good one. So, you know, if you've gotten anywhere in business, or even if you're just starting out, what do people ask you? What do they say? You know what? You're an expert. I would like to know, how did you do that? That's a perfect way to actually do a post and get it out there. And then talk about how stuff works. I will give you one little tip here as we go through it, but if you're still wondering, I still don't know what I'm going to do, what I'm going to post about, just grab a copy of this. You're at this festival. There are 100 good post ideas in here with the sessions that are done, and it will inspire you. You want inspiration? Look through this and think about how you can tell stories that relate to this, and do it on LinkedIn and build your community. Trending topics are another really interesting area, and I've used this really well, and it's really important here. So, you know what? LinkedIn wants to be a news site. It is a news site. They have journalists. They do this LinkedIn news thing. It's every day they're updating it with news stories every hour. And on the desktop, you can find it on the right side of the screen. On mobile, just tap the search box and scroll down, and you'll see the trending stories. You can also, so for example, yesterday I did this, and there was this story, BuzzFeed News is shutting down. I'll bet we all have something to say about this story, right? Well, here's how you say it. And hopefully, if they put it on that trending story, you can get a lot of views and a lot of people will see it. So here's how you leverage it. First of all, go to the, this is what it looks like on LinkedIn News for the BuzzFeed story. You see that little share button right up there? Click that share button and then write a post. This will reshare it to your LinkedIn feed, and then you want to add a post in it that is your take on it. Something timely, something short and to the point, something that has your particular point of view and what you know, maybe something that gives back a little bit. Hey, you BuzzFeed News employees, we're hiring, or something else. Encourage conversation, say you want more, you know, let's talk down here. And then the hashtag you want to put in along with the other hashtags is hashtag LI trending topics. That surfaces it to the editors. Similarly, you could create a timely story and post keywords about the story and hashtags about that story, and then use LI trending topics as well. Look at Sarah Fisher, great media reporter at Axios. I love her. Her story is the one they use as their primary story. She's got a boatload of views from that. She probably doesn't even worry about Twitter anymore. But if you scroll down, they keep on adding more stories in there, and they shuffle it around. I've had one of my stories pop up at the top of one of these things because I had a good commentary or response or insight. This, for you guys, is gold. So sign up for those news alerts. You can do it in the notification area. I have a link right there where you can get there. Okay, quickly, posting frequency I talked about, 3 times a week or more, no more than once every 18 hours. Ideal time to post is whenever you think the people that you want to read you are there, like post in the morning. I don't put that much credence in that. Don't put links in your post. You can link to your articles, but if it's a paywalled site, you will get pushed down the stack. Never stop posting. If you stop posting for a month, the algorithm's forgotten you, and you got to build it back up again. And don't tag people. You can @tag people, and you see people who like @tag 50 people. Unless they're coming and commenting, it's worthless, and the algorithm will not like you. So only put the 1 or 2 people in you know that will come and comment. What should you post? Well, some things get better reach than average. This is probably a few months old. LinkedIn is always coming up with new stuff. For a while, it was the carousel, which is kind of it's like a PowerPoint on steroids, and polls. I don't know if those have been pushed down or not, but don't follow things just because they seem like other people are doing them. Do what you like. That's how you build it. After you post, don't go away. Comment on 3 or 4 other posts. Talk to people. You know, go in there. Don't edit your own post for the first 10 to 20 minutes, unless it's like there's a copy edit or it's misspelling. Don't be the first to comment on your post. That's also not good. And respond to comments right away. The first hour after you put whatever it is up, a video, a post, blah, 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 make sure that as soon as someone comments, you're commenting back. You're building conversation. LinkedIn loves conversation, and they want you to do it. The more that you build that out, the better. And then over the next 8 to 12 hours, a couple hours later, stop by, see if anybody's commented. If you get a comment alert, go back and comment and do that for the first 12 hours. So newsletters, I do a newsletter. Newsletters are a great little hack. If you do one, you have to be committed. You have to come up with a good title. You have to post to a schedule. I do mine every week, every Monday. I got to write it tomorrow. But the first newsletter you post, make it really good. Talk about what it is. It will go to everybody who follows you and everybody you're connected to. It's the only time LinkedIn will ever send anything to everybody who follows you. Make it good and then keep doing it. Video tips, square formats, 1 to 2 minutes max. I used to be burning my captions into my video, but now they have a caption feature. Use the captions, but don't let it do the captions for you. Tell it you want to review it. Go in and quickly review it. It only takes a minute or two for them to pop up. Correct them, make sure that you can only edit once, so make sure you like it before you hit the publish button because you can't go back. And put yourself in the video somewhere. LinkedIn likes to have you in the video, likes to see you. Hashtags, these are like top 20 hashtags now. Only 3 to 6 per post. Use 1 to 2 broad hashtags, but then 2 to 4 targeted hashtags, about what you're talking about. I do creator economy, I do social media, et cetera, YouTube. New content formats come out all the time. This is the new collaborative articles. They're based on skills. There's like 200 skills that LinkedIn has. I couldn't find journalism on it, but I did find writing. I know, weird. But maybe I didn't look hard enough. But you can go in and add your own stuff to the story if they let you. And this is another way to get good exposure. So I have no idea if this is going to stick. I have no idea what it's going to do. But if it's new on LinkedIn, they really want you to do it. Thumbnails are good, like thumbnails for stories I put up there. You can see I ended up here on my newsletter, but it took me some time. For video, I started doing square thumbnails, but it's not right, and the right and left get cut out, so it's almost square, and I finally figured out there's not a lot of great information on this stuff on LinkedIn. It's kind of what you can do and what's there. I have resources here. These are some resources. The top 4 are people who are experts on the LinkedIn algorithm. They're really good. That experience section, I have a great article from someone that I went through the accelerator on how to do your experience section. Read that, and then there are 3 resources. For analytics, LinkedIn's getting better on analytics, but it still sucks. These aren't that much better, but at least they help a little bit. I've tried them, and I don't use them anymore. Career Flow helps you optimize your profile, which is also really cool. 2, and we are out of time, but anybody who wants to talk about this afterwards, I'll be out there, and we'll find a place so we can sit and chat about it. Again, subscribe to my newsletter. I'll put a link to this the set of slides if you want to download them, and connect with me, and we can talk about it. Like, I answer my emails. I love this stuff. And LinkedIn has been really good to me, and it can be really good for you. It's a great way, like I said, to build your brand, to whatever you want to do, whether you want to go out and do your own thing, or you want to get a better job and become more of an expert and have people come and say, come speak at IJF and other things. So anyway, thank you. Enjoy.